Yeah, SubCulture is our newest extension of Enzymedica, and it at this time is a line of three probiotics. Maybe if someone's listening to this in the future, we'll have more. But knowing the importance of the microbiome, we really wanted to make sure that we were starting to address that. We've been working with the microbiome for a long time due to enzymes. So, one of the things to clear up straight away is that people think, well, I already take probiotics, I don't need an enzyme.
Hmm.
And the truth is, they do really different things. So, the subculture line has our formulation philosophy is that we have a base of probiotics that's in each one of the formulas.
Yeah.
50 billion CFU non-competitive strains, and these products at this time are all non-GMO certified. It's also a vegetarian product. Very clean. That's Enzymedica's philosophy. That's what we do.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Healthy Habit Podcast, episode 174. I'm your host, Dr. Dayan of Healthy Habit Medical Center. And today we're touching base with a great company here that's been with us for over a decade now, Enzymedica. We're talking with the VP, the Vice President of Education at Enzymedica. And last time we talked with her was episode 113. We also had one in between there. I don't want to butcher the number now, somewhere in the 160s as well. But you can head over to our YouTube channel and just type in, or Spotify, in the search bar, Craven, Julia Craven, C-R-A-V, like Victor, E-N, and then all of our episodes of Julia will pop up. And as the Vice President of Education for Enzymedica, Julia Craven is a recognized expert in digestive health and enzyme therapy. Known as the Holistic Enzymologist, Julia is passionately spreading valuable information about healing the digestive health epidemic using an integrative, easy-to-understand, enzyme-focused approach that is accessible to all. She's also a product formulator, traditional herbalist, certified yoga instructor, and lifelong learner who's committed to empowering people to find their personal path to wellness. Thanks for coming back on, Julia. I appreciate it.
Thank you for the invitation. I always love having these chats with you. It's so
It's
much fun.
great. It's easy. We just free flow and we
Yep.
educate the customers and consumers and listeners here. So we have a lot of people out of state that listen. So we do ship nationwide, folks. Keep that in mind. We've had people from New York, California, even in Canada that listen to us. So we can ship anywhere. Just give us a call at 602 252 6000. Let's talk about immune defense then, Julia, previously called Enzyme Defense.
So, to talk about this product, we need to just preamble it with a little bit about enzymes. Usually, when we talk about enzymes, we're talking about digestive health. So, we're talking about the gas, the bloating, the occasional heartburn. I think we've talked a lot about food intolerances, but there's a whole different way to take enzymes, and that's on an empty stomach. And this is called systemic enzyme therapy. And the enzymes that work really, really well in this way are a class of enzymes that break down proteins, also known as proteases.
Mm.
So we take them on an empty stomach, so they're not breaking down and digesting food, and they're actually able to travel into our bloodstream and do some really, really cool things in our bloodstream. And these proteases are able to go into our bloodstream and work very much like our own white blood cells, and they can help to break down or digest pathogenic invaders. So anything that's protein based, these proteases can go into our bloodstream, work with our own immune system, and actually help to eat up these pathogenic invaders, which is really, really cool and interesting. It's not something people know a lot about, but it can be so handy during the season where we're traveling a lot, or people are traveling to us, or the kids are picking up goodness knows what from school and
Right.
bringing it home. This is another way you can support your immune health.
Perfect. Let's break down that formula, and I'll do a screen share as you introduce us to this. The Immune Defense by Enzymedica, hence the name Enzymes. You know, this company specializes in this, is that America's number one enzyme selling product company. So people that are interested in enzymes, you better pay attention to this one. Take some notes. This is like I said, it used to be called the Immune Defense. No, now it's Immune Defense. It used to be called Enzyme Defense Formula. So let's break this down. I'll do a quick screen share.
So what we are going to see with this formula is it's very, very high in proteases. There's going to be a lot of proteases in there because we want to get them into the bloodstream so they can go and do some of that other work. We have two strengths with this, by the way. We're going to look at the regular strength because what I tell you what, the regular strength is really, really potent. To
Okay.
put this into perspective, many people are familiar with Digest Gold, which
Yeah.
is our top selling digestive enzyme formula, and that has 80,000 units of protease to help you break down foods. That's going to help you break down like a normal serving of a protein. Well, this is 150,000 units of protease. So it's almost double the strength. And how that works, again, it travels into the bloodstream and can help to break down any of those pathogenic invaders that are protein based. And again, this is actually how our own white blood cells work. Our own white blood cells, to break down these invaders, come along and they basically envelop them
Yeah.
and squirt enzymes all over them. And that's what breaks down those pathogenic invaders. So these systemic enzymes are working just like our own white blood cells do, but they actually do it without overstimulating the immune system, which is really great if you're someone who is working with autoimmune.
Right.
But I also love it because it works so nicely with your other standard immune things. So that could be your elderberry, your baseline vitamin D, your zinc. I'm a huge astragalus fan myself. Whatever it is, you can take proteases and they can work together with your other formulas. So you're getting better activity overall.
Got it. And like you said, go ahead. Keep going.
Oh, I was just going to go over the other enzymes in the formula. There's a really cool enzyme called catalase. This is one of the rare antioxidant enzymes. Catalase actually helps to break down hydrogen peroxide,
Wow.
which is a part of what can happen when we get inflammation. And so catalase is kind of helping with some of that side effect that can occur in the body when our immune system is fighting something. There's a natural inflammation response. This is all normal and natural and good, but we can produce too much of that hydrogen peroxide. And then serrapeptase is another protease enzyme, proteolytic enzyme. And serrapeptase is really, really excellent in that it works very quickly, for one, but it also is supportive for respiratory tissue. So, for instances, when people are fighting something off, oftentimes they will feel it in their lungs. They'll have a respiratory
Yeah.
response or even a nasal response. Serrapeptase is one of the ones that can help to thin the fluid that comes along as the body's own natural response to an immune attack. And then mucolase, a very, very nifty enzyme, its entire job in life is to break down mucus.
Hmm.
That is what it does.
Yeah.
And so you can see that combination of the serrapeptase and mucolase together is a complete formula for helping with that protease on the immune level, to just help people when they're experiencing some of the most common things that we're going to experience during the winter season.
And you could take this preventatively as well, Julia. It doesn't have to be only when you have the mucus buildup, congestion, and difficulty breathing.
You can take it both ways. So the
Yeah.
immune defense is what I suggest that we take more preventatively. And then you know how when you have that feeling of like something's happening, I think I'm coming down with something,
Yeah.
you can take a little bit of a higher dose when you're in that situation. Much like if during cold and flu season you normally took 500 or 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C or a vitamin C complex,
Yeah.
but when you feel something coming on, you pump it up a little bit. It can work the same with enzymes.
Right. And again, if you're used to buying Enzyme Defense, it's now called Immune Defense. You can get that right here at Healthy Habit. If we're out by any chance, we special order that to you, no problem at all. And it's always non GMO, okay, vegan, kosher supplement. Number one enzyme brand in America, folks, Enzymedica. And I like this because it's a different angle for immune system support, Julia. Don't get me wrong, I love my zincs and vitamin C, but maybe like a three bottle, someone that they might take it with them on their holiday season when they visit family, would be a bottle of immune defense and let's say vitamin C and zinc all together because you
Mhm.
need enzymes to break down the mucus and keep our respiratory and sinuses clear and not congested. Is that a good way to look at it?
That's a great way to look at it. When we look at
Awesome.
all these wonderful things that we take for the immune system, most of them are helping our bodies to fight off those invaders, or
Right.
they themselves maybe can disable the invaders. What is so cool about enzymes? they actually break them down. They actually just get rid of them.
Right.
And so what I like about that is, whether it's a virus, a bacteria, whatever it is, sometimes it's funky and we don't know.
Yeah.
I get on airplanes all the time and I just think, just help protect me from whatever it might be coming my way. The enzyme defense, the immune defense can really be so helpful with that because you know what? They just break it down directly. And then you take your other things that also help to support your immune system.
Great breakdown. Again, protease, therablend, the catalase, serrapeptase, mucilase, all doing different things to protect our sinuses, immune system, and much more. So, again, immune defense, folks, through Enzymedica. Let's talk about MucoStop as the next stop in this podcast right here.
I love
MucoStop, tell us about it. How is it different than the mucilase or the immune defense formula?
So this one really does focus on mucus. It has a lot more of that mucolase
Okay,
enzyme
got
in
it.
this formula. So in the immune defense, it's an additive enzyme, but in the MucoStop formula, it really is one of the star players. So if we're looking at it for two capsules, that's a 60 milligram dose versus if you were to take one capsule of the immune defense, that's 8 milligrams. So
Okay.
it's a lot more mucolase in this formula. And I joke when I do trainings and I'm talking to people out in the field, I say, this is the snot stopper. So this
Yeah,
really is the enzyme that it doesn't matter why you have the snot. It doesn't matter why that mucus is occurring. So sure, could it be an effect of an immune challenge? Absolutely. Could it be that you were at a holiday party and you ate way too much dairy? Absolutely. Guess what? The mucilase is going to help to break that down as well.
yeah.
One thing a lot of people don't think about indoors as we're spending so much more time indoors over the winter season is that we have a lot of indoor allergies. In the transitional time of year right now, for me, I'm in Seattle, it's fall, it's leaves everywhere, which means mold everywhere. People
Uh-huh.
will get respiratory issues. Or, as we come indoors and we're in all of this forced air heat, now maybe not so much for you, but maybe a little bit,
Yeah.
but for your folks in other places, we're getting indoor allergies as well. Mucilase works for those too. It doesn't matter why the mucus is occurring. What I love so much about this enzyme is that its job in life is to break it down.
Right. Yeah, so that's kind of the star of the show in this formula, correct? But we do have some of the therablend, the glucoamylase. Look at all
Hmm.
these different enzymes. Whenever you see something end in A's,
Hmm.
ASE, that's referring to an enzyme most of the time. I'm sure there might be some without A's at the end, but most of the time enzymes will end in A's. Like you can see here, hemicellulase, invertase, xylanase. Tell us about some of these. Like, how many enzymes are there in the body? The different ones? Thousands? Tens of
Well, in
thousands?
the human body, it's estimated that there's about 80,000 metabolic
80,000.
enzymes. Now, that's just what the estimate is now because there are so many enzymes. Literally, enzymes are responsible for every single catalytic reaction within the human body. No enzymes means no life.
Yes.
Just how the body works is we need enzymes. And so there are other enzymes in this formula. We do have some of the protease therablend to support with the immune system, no matter what time of year it is. There's some amylase therablend, which is really interesting because it is shown to be supportive for helping to modulate histamine levels when taken on an empty stomach. So this is a really nice supportive formula. And again, the star of the show is that mucolase
Yeah.
enzyme. So you can take most people, if you're taking MucoStop preventatively, that's when we start to look at, well, why is there being so much mucus produced? And we want to get to the heart of that matter. But this
Right.
works
Right.
very quickly. I'll tell you, I have long time ago, I was a terrible allergy sufferer. I had seasonal hay fever like you would not believe. And so I would wake up in the morning and I would take two of the MucoStop on an empty stomach, and I could literally feel my sinuses start to open.
Yeah.
So properly formulated enzymes work very fast.
Amazing. MucoStop, aka the snot stopper. Julia Crave that she coined that term right there. So keep that
So
one on your
scientific.
radars. Yeah, and maybe have that in your first aid kit, folks, for if you really get stopped up. What about like during allergy season? Would it potentially play a role in that too?
It's great. It's
Yeah,
it's that's was my first experience with it. So
got
it's
it.
not just for winter immune, it's for indoor immune, fall immune, hay fever season. Again, enzymes work really well with other things.
Yeah.
So, if you're taking your quercetin and your other things for allergies, you can add the MucoStop.
That's perfect. So you're known as the holistic enzymologist. How did you get passionate about enzymes? I think this is a really unique. It's a nice niche in the health field, and you can spend an entire lifetime on enzymes alone. So how did you choose that to focus on?
Um, I think enzymes chose me in a way.
Wow.
I started working in health food stores when I was 17 years old. It
Okay.
was my first job. And like all of us who are working with this and passionate about it for a long time, I learned lots of other things. I went to Chinese medicine school. I really passionate about Western herbs, essential oils. I learned all of these different things, homeopathy. I was a massage therapist.
Mm,
I never knew anything about enzymes. And I'd even had Enzymedica in my stores and didn't know anything about them. And one day
yeah.
Enzymedica sent me a book and I started to read, and that was in 2005.
Wow.
And when I really started to understand, A, how specific enzymes are, how you really need to know what you're doing when you formulate with them, and then really early on, understanding the gut brain and the gut immune connection and what dealing with digestion can do for our overall look on life, I thought, why doesn't everybody in America
Yeah.
know about the power of enzymes? And that is what has been motivated me. I've been with the company since 2007.
Incredible. With Enzymedica since
Yes, with
'07.
Enzymedica.
That's amazing. 17 years you've been with the same company. That says a lot, speaks volumes, and they're still growing. When did they start as a company?
Enzymedica was founded in 1998.
Got it.
So
Yeah.
it's, still in the natural channel, the number one selling product. And I don't say that to say, look at us, we're so successful. I say that because people just do keep purchasing the product because it helps so
Right.
much. It really works for people. And, we don't need to advertise when we have that kind of legacy.
Yep. It gets the results. So when someone's trying to consider if they're not ready to maybe start a supplement yet, we did put MucoStop and Immune Defense on their radar here today. And we're probably going to cover a probiotic SubCulture probiotics product. So if they want to ensure their own enzymes are being produced effectively, is there any specific ways to do that with the diet, or is it just eat a healthy diet, exercise? How do we ensure optimal enzyme production?
Well, that's going to be, that's different for everybody
Okay.
because our enzyme production goes down as we age.
No.
But you pointed to it, healthy lifestyle. I mean, don't do the things that deplete all of the systems of our body. We make a lot of enzymes not only in our stomach and our small intestine, but in our pancreas. And so just keeping like our small intestine, our microbiome makes a lot of enzymes. The
Oh, wow.
microflora in our microbiome creates certain kinds of enzymes. So
Interesting.
we're just whole gut health. And then the one that's the simplest that all of our grandmothers said, and many of us don't do, is chew your food.
Hmm.
We create a lot of enzymes in our saliva. And
Fascinating.
so just the simple act of chewing your food helps you create more enzymes.
Right. So all from the mouth, all through the digestive tract, these enzymes are being produced in different locations for
Hmm.
different functions. Really cool. Very good stuff. That's practical. Thanks for covering that, Julia. So let's highlight the subculture probiotics that you wanted to touch on from Enzymedica.
Yeah, SubCulture is our newest extension of Enzymedica, and it at this time is a line of three probiotics. Maybe if someone's listening to this in the future, we'll have more. But knowing the importance of the microbiome, we really wanted to make sure that we were starting to address that. We've been working with the microbiome for a long time due to enzymes. So, one of the things to clear up straight away is that people think, well, I already take probiotics, I don't need an enzyme.
Hmm.
And the truth is, they do really different things. Enzymes, as we talked about, they break things down. Enzymes are going to break down that food, including helping to break down the food so that your own microflora, your own microbiome can flourish. But many of us, through just living in the modern world, after taking medication, stress, lifestyle, you name it, our microbiomes are out of balance. So the subculture line has our formulation philosophy is that we have a base of probiotics that's in each one of the formulas.
Yeah.
50 billion CFU non-competitive strains, and these products at this time are all non-GMO certified. It's also a vegetarian product. Very clean. That's Enzymedica's philosophy. That's what we do. But what separates them and what makes them different are what we call some of the hero strains that we've added to our seven strain core blend. So, like my favorite one is the mood. And
Okay.
I'm really excited to try this product over a period of time. I've just gotten my first samples of it, but this is a great example. So most probiotics and most microflora, it has a huge, huge impact on our mental state. Our microflora either creates a lot of neurotransmitters or creates the materials that help to create neurotransmitters. So our gut is really one of our biggest mood enhancing machines in our bodies. So that goes for many, many different kinds of probiotics as well as our own microflora. But then we have a special probiotic in here called Lactobacillus gasseri CP2305 to just get very fancy about it.
Yeah.
That is a specific probiotic that has been studied and shown to really hit the markers for what a lot of people identify as helping with their moods. So these were human clinical studies done on individuals in higher stress situations. Many of them were medical students going through finals.
Mm.
And what it showed was that not only did people's digestive health receive support, they had less of that stress-oriented stomach ache, diarrhea, or constipation, but their sleep scores got better, whether that was sleep latency or sleep duration, both got better. Many of them said they just had a better resilience to that feeling of anxiety. So this just goes to show that when we take care of our gut, we can also be taking care of our mental health as well.
And again, you have the core 7 strain blend, plus you added the additional probiotics clinically studied to help reduce bloating, burping, gas.
Mhm.
Um, and there's no enzymes technically in this product.
No, so our probiotic products do not have enzymes.
Got it.
In order to get a high enough potency of anything, you would end up taking many, many pills. So we've
Right,
just
right.
stuck with the idea of take your digestive enzyme for your food and take your probiotic for your helping with your microbiome. And the one we're looking at right now is actually the bloat blend, which is perfect for the holidays coming up. It has some of this special formula
It says
bacillus.
it says the
No,
mood on here.
yep. And you know what? That's an error I'm seeing
That's
on our
okay.
website because if you scroll down, it's actually looking at the bloat
Yeah,
formula.
you're right. Uh-huh.
Yeah, that website just launched 10 days ago. We'll get that
Yeah,
fixed.
there you go.
So, but since we're here on the bloat blend, so appropriate for the holidays. One of the probiotics that's really, really cool is this probiotic called Bacillus subtilis DE111.
Okay.
And this is a really hardy probiotic, makes it through stomach acid and pancreatic secretions very, very easily, very heat stable too. So it's a great probiotic to be putting into a product. But what I love about it is that this probiotic creates a lot of enzymes. Once it has started to really take up and set up in the gut, DE111 creates a lot of amylase and cellulase enzymes, and that helps with the carbohydrates and that fiber processing in the body. It's an
Wow.
enzyme creating machine. It's one of the reasons it works so well for gas.
Amazing. Yeah, and you said if we can support a healthy microbiome and get the right probiotics on board, then we'll be able to make the proper enzymes that are necessary in the lower GI tract, right?
Yep. The microflora doesn't create a ton of proteases for
Okay.
protein or lipases.
Yeah.
There are some for sure. But if you're really working on food digestion, the first stop is taking that digestive enzyme supplement. But then, my idea is I don't ever want people to be taking something forever. I would like for them to be in a state of homeostasis where they don't need to take much.
Right.
And so as we transition and as we steer towards a healthier microbiome, maybe they have to take less of the enzymes and they can just stick with the probiotics.
Again, folks, this is brand new. You heard it here first on episode 174 with Julia here on the Healthy Habit Podcast. The brand new SubCulture line, which has the mood, the bloat, and the woman's formula from Enzymedica, which starts with 50 billion colony forming units, CFUs of 7 live non-competitive strains to cover your bases. It's this core blend is hardy to tolerate the acidic environments of the gut. That's important. Tell us why that's so important to make it to where it needs to get in the gut without dying off.
Well, if you're taking a probiotic and the acidic environment of the gut, I mean, it can break down anything, right? It can break down, hopefully, it can break down steak and very hard things to digest. And
Yeah.
probiotics, they're pretty delicate. And so we want to make it sure that it's making through that environment, because if it's not making it through that acidic environment of the gut, then what good is it really going to do you in the microbiome? I want to make it clear that there still are some benefits. Probiotics can
Sure.
create some other beneficial metabolites, but you're not getting that real activity of those colony forming units. So you want to pick hardy strains, and we have it in a little bit of what's called a delayed release capsule. It's just a thicker capsule. That's all that it is. It's
Okay.
nothing fancy in there, but that's what you have to do when you want it to be clean. And then the other thing is that we are shelf stable and guaranteed potency for 2 years. So through expiration date, you can be guaranteed that what we say in that bottle is actually in that bottle. Not
Right.
everybody can say that. That's what you're going to get with a higher quality probiotic product.
We'll try and squeeze in the magnesium discussion maybe next time we have you on, Julia, for
Right.
sake of time. But this was a great start. It's nice to highlight at least 2 or 3 products with each feature segment here. We covered the immune defense, previously enzyme defense, the MucoStop, which has, I mean, how many times more? 8 to 10 times more of the mucilase enzyme in there. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yeah, about that. And then we just highlighted the brand new SubCulture line of probiotics. The website you just saw here in the YouTube version was literally just launched 10 days ago. So you heard it here first, folks. And if we don't have them yet in the store, just tell our staff. We'll special order that to make sure you have it even before it's on the shelves here at Healthy Habits. So, Julia, I want to thank you for your time. That brings us to the end here. What you want to leave us with a quick summary here? What should people know about enzymes here heading into the holiday season?
That even if you don't feel like you are going to have digestive problems or you don't even identify with that, when we're traveling, when we're eating foods that may be unusual, maybe we only eat them once or twice a year during holidays, it's always a good idea to get that digestive support. Our digestion slows down when we're stressed out. People get
Right.
stressed out over the holidays. So it's always a good idea to take a digestive enzyme and don't forget about your microbiome with the probiotics.
Well said. Thanks for taking the time to come on. Always appreciate our talks.
It's always so fun. We'll see you next time.